The good teacher and the good pupil. This is the theme today. I am very happy that you have invited me to come this morning and talk to you about it.
You are the general editor of the book, and we are very happy to have you here. You have also been the educational advisor to the Government of India for a large number of years. You have interacted with a large number of students and teachers from all parts of the country and from the rest of the world. We have a number of questions to ask you, and for now we would hope that you can tell us what is the rationale behind this book that you have edited.
You know, I am a severe teacher and a severe educator. I have criticized the present system of education right from the time that I was a student. Somewhat like Gurudev Tagore, who was bored by the school and the classroom in which he was studying, I too used to feel that I was in a prison room when I was in the school. I wanted to change the system of education. As I grew up, I had opportunity of reflecting for years on what a good system of education ought to be. I read a number of educationists. I implemented many good advices of many good teachers and pupils. And I felt that there is a need to bring together under two covers the best examples of teachers and pupils. This is the first reason of my editing this book. My second reason is that I have made a research in a very important subject. What is it that everyone in the world as a human being should learn? In search of an answer to this question, I have identified a few themes. I believe that everyone lives life, but we do not think sufficiently on the aim of life. And I think everyone should have possibility of exploring this important theme. What is the aim of life? As you know, I have edited one book under that very title, The Aim of Life. Secondly, I find that everyone in the world, both biologically and psychologically, is a teacher and a pupil. And therefore, everyone in the world should ask oneself, what is it to be a good teacher? What is it to be a good pupil? A third question which I ask myself is that everyone has a body, physical body. And therefore, everyone should ask the question, what is the nature of the physical body? What is the possibility in terms of capacities in the body? How can one develop various capacities of the body? And what is the highest perfection that one can achieve in terms of physical body and in terms of the fact that body contains mind and behind the mind is a soul and the spirit. Therefore, I have edited a third book, Mystery and Excellence of the Human Body. A fourth question is, what should everyone cultivate in order to rise from the level of the animal life to the human life and from the present human life to a higher and nobler human life, or even beyond? And I have come to the conclusion that there are three levers of upliftment. The power of illumination, the power of heroism, and the power of harmony. So I am now editing 80 monographs illustrating from the East and the West some of the best examples of teachers who were illumined, of great warriors who were heroic and courageous in character, and great lovers of mankind, peacemakers in the world, who have striven to bring about harmony in the world. But that is for the future. Already 7 monographs have come out. And I have still a few more questions. What is the nature of the mind? And then what is the nature of the soul? And then what are the highest capacities of the mind which transcend into the supermind? Well, these are the things that I have learned from Sri Aurobindo. And I would like to give to the students of today and tomorrow some of the best things that I have learned in my life, so that they can be of some use to the generations that are to come. Well, this is the rationale that I can present to you for editing this book, The Good Teacher and the Good Pupil.
Let us explore this book together.
All right.
Before we plunge into the book, I would like to ask you one question. You have often mentioned that the first principle of teaching is that nothing can be taught. You have derived this from Sri Aurobindo. Can you please explain this statement?
It's a paradoxical statement, and therefore it is quite startling. We all know that we are being taught, and every teacher attempts to teach. But if you are told that nothing can be taught, is there any justification at all for there being teachers, and there can be any process of teaching? I think the important point is that we must make a distinction between principle of teaching and method of teaching. Method of teaching can be through expositions, lectures, dialogues, debates, and many other methods of stimulation of the pupil. But teacher has to remember the principle of teaching, and that is that however much you put into the child from outside, the individual student has to grasp, and that grasping is done by the faculty of understanding. Now, the understanding is something that is spontaneous in the pupil, and you can't manipulate the process of understanding. You can stimulate, you can expound, but what happens to the child in his process of understanding is something entirely subjective. And it is that which happens by ignition from within. And that is why Sri Aurobindo says that the first principle of teaching is that nothing can be taught. Everything is to be understood by the pupil through his own process of understanding. This is the briefest understanding of this principle which I have explained to you just now. But maybe we shall go forward and explain it further.
Thank you. Let us begin our exploration.